Hey guys, John V here from Phone Reno. Right now I'm taking a hands-on look at the Samsung Galaxy Mega. It's a 6.3-inch version, and it just came out for AT&T, sporting a 2-year contract price point of $149.99. And if you like the Galaxy Note series or even the Galaxy S4, but you still want something a little bit larger, you're going to really like this one here because it features a massive 6.3-inch 720p display. As far as the overall design, it hasn't really changed much from the international variant that we reviewed a few months ago. Of course, being AT&T, the most prominent thing with the design here is just the AT&T logo in the back of the handset. Aside from that, the size, looks, choice of materials, construction, everything is identical to the model that we reviewed. So if you're taking a look at the handset, when you hold it in the hand, the first thing you notice is that it's just one massive thing. You grasp it, it's pretty wide, very large. It's like a mini tablet of sorts, and really pushes the limits of what is size-wise is adequate for smartphones. Obviously, the biggest thing here is just the massive 6.3-inch 720p display on front. It's a super clear LCD panel instead of the typical AMOLED ones that we tend to find with Samsung's devices. Now, the thing about it, it's large, of course. Details, not particularly the strongest there, but more than sufficient enough. But as far as the color reproduction, the viewing angles, they're a lot weaker compared to what we see with the Galaxy S4, even the Galaxy Note. With the LCD panel, it's a little bit more washed out in tone. It doesn't have the same vividness or that polarizing view that really attracted us to the AMOLED displays from Samsung's devices. So below the panel, of course, we have that dedicated home button surrounded by two capacitive buttons. Up top, you have the earpiece, the front-facing cameras, and all the light and proximity sensors. The left side, you have just the volume control, while on the right, you have the dedicated power button. On the bottom edge, you have the micro USB port for charging data connectivity, along with the microphone. And up top, you have the 3.5mm headset jack, the noise cancellation microphone, and of course, a handy-dandy IR blaster, which turns it into a universal remote. Flip it around to the rear, the glossy construction of the casing itself attracts a lot of fingerprints and smudges, so that's something that particularly stands out. You have notches for the speakerphone, the Galaxy Mega branding, AT&T logo, and of course you have an 8-megapixel autofocus camera with an LED flash, which jumps out a little bit just because it's raised from the surrounding surface. One thing we're mentioning about the display is that it features air view functionality. So basically, it tracks your finger as you're hovering it over the display. So it's very useful in different applications. You get previews and whatnot, but it doesn't have the same air gestures that we find in the Galaxy S4, basically where you're actually waving your hand over the display to do different functions. So it doesn't have that. When it comes to performance, it's powered by a dual-core 1.7 GHz processor with 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, and we can tell the difference between performance and, say, the Galaxy S4. We definitely notice that it's not as responsive as we like. Still very smooth and fluid, but it lacks that snappiness, and every now and then we do notice just some sluggishness with its performance. Overall, it's just the size that really captures the attention of people. You put this down on the table, if you're at a restaurant, it's bound to get some looks or even some questions from random people. Now, if you have large hands, it's going to be wonderful for you just because the size is probably going to gravitate towards your liking. But if you have smaller hands, you might not particularly be pleased by how large and massive it is. But then again, it still has some very nice qualities about it. And for $150 2-year contract out of the gate, it doesn't seem too bad. So if you want to learn more about the Samsung Galaxy Mega, the 6.3-inch model, guys, for AT&T, check out our website, phonereno.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.